Chef Tai here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do tenderloin trimming. So when you go to a supermarket, often you'll see a tenderloin that is already trimmed, and then there's a tenderloin that is actually packed up in this whole entire loin section. And this is a USDA Prime. I am actually testing out a new beef purveyor that is actually trying to get the meat supplied to our restaurants. So we're testing out their USDA Prime grade beef, and from what I was told, it's pretty amazing. So we're gonna find out today if it really does step up to their reputation. As you can see, it is far from being trimmed out and cleaned out to be utilized. So what I'm going to teach you is a basic operation on how to do things. But before we actually start utilizing a knife, something that we must do is a basic trimming and inspection of the meat. So if you can see, I can grab many parts of this meat by hand and actually start peel away some of the things that's attached to the meat even before I start using the knife. So what I'll do is these little fats and gristles, I'm just going to put it on the side, not going to use it. And if you see, I can further dissect the meat. Basically, it pulls apart. This is a chain and this is the actual tenderloin. So I can peel these skins off and show you the most of the meat without ever using the knife. And you can see how it splits apart. Now, that's a chain, that's the tenderloin, and also that's one end of the tenderloin as well. So what we'll do is, now we will grab a knife and carefully remove this chain away from the meat, the main tenderloin part. And of course, normally the meat will be flipped to my side, but I'm doing it sort of the reverse just so you can see what's going on. So this is a chain. There are some good amount of meats are actually stuck here. Once I can remove it from the silver skin, we can actually utilize it for some stir fry. But also at the restaurant, what we do is we just remove the silver skin and put this whole thing on a grill, and we'll grill them down to about medium, and we chop it up and eat it as a taco. But I'm going to save this on the side for now. So you can see right now, semi-trimmed tenderloin. So this part is completely cleaned out and trimmed out, and we're going to have to trim a little bit. Sometimes you'll see a little segments of a bone, so you do have to inspect it again and then just make sure you trim that out. So here I'm going to just trim a very thin pieces of sinew and gristle, and that piece had a little piece of bone stuck on it as well. So these excess fats get removed. Bam, right there. Now, as you can see, the meat tapers off and it gets thinner and thinner. This part, I don't really have a use as a tenderloin cut at a restaurant because it is really thin. However, this is a fantastic cut for making a stir fry or making a kebab if I cube it. So I'm going to save this on the one side. And right here, the prized piece that everybody wants. That is what they call Chateaubriand or center cut tenderloin or filet mignon once you cut it. So that is the center, that is one end piece, which we'll get back to. So to trim a silver skin, it's really easy. It is basically making a small, tiny incision underneath the silver skin that you see. And by tugging it and pulling it, you can almost actually just peel it away without even using a knife, as you just saw that. So I just make a small, tiny incision, and I can pull it against it. That's the part that you cannot eat. I mean, you could, I guess, eventually if you chew it long enough. But that is a piece that we want to trim out. And obviously, if you're in a restaurant, you never want to see that silver skin on your tenderloin dish. So I could use a knife to peel it, or I can just peel it against the grain and just it comes straight off. So right here, these little fat and little films really just comes out super easy. Extra hard cap fat. This is actually really hard fat. You don't really want that on the tenderloin. So here we go. Very easy. Just trim out the excess fat. Very minimal waste, and that's what we're looking for. There you go. So that is a big tenderloin right there. Now, looking at this side, this is, you will see how it separates and has a sinew on it. So we're gonna have to figure out how we can break this apart where we get the most yield out of it. So if we also look into the meat, you'll see a small separation right there. So that's where we want to cut along. You always want to cut along the natural separation point, just to cut where the fat and sinew are, and that way you have the minimal waste of the meat. So right here, cut that out, and you see a little bit of a sinew right there running. It's okay. Cut it off. So that is another lump of a meat. Just as we did earlier on the Chateaubriand area, there is another silver skin. And of course, this one, for the demonstration purpose, I have removed the Chateaubriand from the chain altogether on a cut, just so you can see what Chateaubriand side will be. When we trim it at the restaurant, we will actually trim the whole thing without actually dissecting it between Chateaubriand and whatnot. So it will be just a one peeling move, but just have to get these out and flip. Just a little bit of hard fat cap. Want to get that removed as well. All right, so pretty much all cleaned up. And this really loose piece, we'll save that up for stir fry. So I'll put it on this side. So as you can see, it's very small segments. And these are used for petit filet or on a kebab. This tapered area can be chopped up and get cubed for a kebab, or it can be actually seared and a slice for a little carpaccios on our restaurant. So that is another piece that we just trimmed out. Same goes here. There is a little bit of sinew going right through here, which we'll just identify and have to just get them trimmed out. There we go. Try to have a very minimal waste. And this can also be trimmed out in the middle. I can probably get 2 orders of petit filet, tenderloin, and then of course the end piece we can trim it out for cubed steak. Now, going back to this giant trim piece of chain, hopefully you can see the dissection of it. There is some meat, and then there's a really thick cuts of silver skin and gristle. So what we want to do is we want to remove the meat, extract as much meat out as possible from this, just so we can utilize it. So there we have it. These were the little trim pieces, little chain that we got from the tenderloin. And this is a one end, that's the other end right here, and that's the Chateaubriand, the center cut. So we'll be utilizing this to make actual steak cuts, and these will be utilized for kebabs, and this one along with the chain can be utilized for the stir fry. So again, out of the one whole tenderloin, we can get variety of products and a variety of cuts. So this one, I'm going to actually do a little trimming into a portion just so we can have a dinner tonight. So looking at it, I can get a pretty decent size of tenderloins out of this. Alright, so let's take a look at it. It is a prime grade, and marbling is pretty excellent. So if you look at it, it's pretty good. I like the marblings of it. It's really good. It has a nice even marbling. Obviously the tenderloin is a leaner cut of the beef, so you don't expect a lot of the fat, but as you all know, marbling is where the flavor comes out. So yeah, this actually looks really good and promising. I'll do a cooking test on these and see how it goes. So here, these are the chains that we're gonna be sauteing it up later on stir fry, but hope you enjoy it and I hope you get to cook some more. We'll see you later.